Today we are going to demonstrate something new, which is using the expression to control the animation. So first of all, I will create a composition. And because I'm going to create an animation, which is a looping animation, so I call it loop. And also setting the composition as a full high definition. Maybe the animation can be about 5 seconds. Maybe I can set a very long animation so that you can see the animation have been looped. And then I click OK. So this is my composition. So before I start, I would like to draw something so that I can move. Okay, let's say I draw a square here. Okay, so this is my object. Okay, and now I need to make sure that the center point is at a correct position. So because this time I would like to animate the position for the object, so maybe I can set the center point is here at the center. And firstly, I need to add some of the keyframe for my motion first. Okay, so I would like to animate in position. So I'm pressing P to show the position. I zoom in my timeline so that I can see clearly. And then maybe I set some of motion. For example, at the beginning, maybe my square can put it here. And then I go to half second, my square will move from left to right. And then at about 1 second, maybe I can animate my object like this. So when I preview my animation, it's really a simple motion. So what kind of animation you have been animate, okay, you need to add 2 or 3 keyframes to add some of the motion, something like this. But you can see that the motion didn't continue, okay, because I only set 3 keyframes, so it will stop after 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I would like to using the expression to create a motion which can be looped forever, okay. So let me click on the position and then go to the menu here in animation, add expression. So you can type something here. Okay, I will need to type loop out. Okay, and then you can using your enter or your arrow to select different script. Okay, so I would like to using the loop out. So now I'm going to pay back my animation. So you can see that my animation have been looped forever because my animation is now about 50 seconds. So it will loop for 15 seconds. But you know that before I add the expression here, my motion will stop after 1 second. But after I adding the expression here, you can see that my animation have been looped forever. So you can watch my timeline here. I can start it all over again and then you can preview. Okay, it should stop, but now it can be looped forever. Okay. So when you click on here, click on the expression here. Actually, we have few more options that you can choose. Okay, you can click here and then you can use a mouse to click inside the basket. And then you need to input the double quote. And then you can see there's 4 more options that you can choose. And then you can using your arrow to choose. For example, the first one that I would like to try is cycle. Okay, I can press enter to select. You don't need to type. Okay, you can just select. Okay, so let's see what happens if I choose the option cycle. Okay, let's preview the motion again. So actually you don't see any difference, okay, because actually by default, when you're using the loop out for your expression, okay, by default, if you input something or you didn't input anything here, okay, actually if you just input something like this, it's had the same result. When you input the cycle, it's the same result, okay. It's just repeat the motion forever. So let me type here. Okay, if you're using the loop out cycle, means that the motion will repeat the keyframe one, because I have 3 keyframe. Repeat 1, 2, 3, 1 again. Repeat 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3 forever. Okay, so just repeat 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's try another option. Okay, you can just select the one here. You can see there's so many. So the second one that we want to try is using the ping pong. Okay, you can using the ping pong here. You can using the arrow to select and click enter. Okay, you can see the result. Okay, let's play back. And you can see that the motion actually is different. Okay, just look like the ping pong. Okay, it will bounce back. Okay, so if you're using the ping pong, actually the motion is repeating the frame number 1 and then 2 and 3, and then it will go back to 2 and 1. Okay, just like you're playing the ping pong. Okay, and then repeat 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you can see the difference. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this one actually is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 and 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, just like you're playing the ping pong. Okay, so the next one. So let's try the third option. Okay, maybe you can using the offset here. Okay, just using the arrow and then select the one and then press enter. So now you can see it's very obvious. The result is quite different. Okay, the offset mean that sorry, what? Let me pause my animation. Let me zoom in a bit to explain. Okay, so you can looking at the 3 keyframe here. Okay, my square is moved from left to right and then move up. Okay, diagonally. Okay, so once you input offset, it means that it will update the latest position as the starting point, as the starting position. So if we move from left to right and then move up, and again starting from here, and then it will move to right and then move up. So the latest position should be here, and then it will move to the left and then move up. Okay, so every time it will update the position. So the result is something like this. It will going up gradually. Okay, so if you're using I'm sorry, I forgot the double quote here. Remember the syntax is really, really important. Offset. Actually, it's the same. That the position keep updating. Okay, you can see that the position will keep updating so that it will going up, and going up. Okay, finally, let's see the final option. The final option is continue. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you can see that my square is also going up, but it's quite different from what I did in offset. Okay, because when you're using continue, it means that it just continue the last movement. Okay, so the last movement here is going up only. Okay, so it will just keep this motion forever. So just going up. Okay, so for continue, it only repeat 1 to 2 to 3. Continue with the last motion. Perform key frame 2 to 3. Okay, just repeating the motion from 2 to 3. Okay, just a going up motion. Okay, so you can see that it's very easy to adjust the motion here. Okay, so let's say I go back to the ping pong. Okay, because the result is very obvious. Okay, and you can see that when you're using the expression to control the motion, okay, if I adjust the timing here, okay, let's say I make the first part very, very slow and very fast here. Okay, you can see the result here. Very slow at the beginning, fast between keyframe 2 to 3. So you can see that the motion, the repeat, the looping animation, repeat what I did. Or if I would like to speed up the overall motion, I speed up the overall motion here. You can see that just very easy to change some of the keyframe, and then you can see that all the animation have been updated. Okay, or we can also try to add few more keyframe. Okay, let's say I have 3 keyframe now. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I can add 1 more or 2 more. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's say I would like to move my object like this and then move back. So this is my new motion. I add a few more keyframes so you can see the result. You can see no matter how many keyframes that I add, it also loop my motion. Okay, so it's very easy for you to create some animation that you would like to loop forever. Okay, so this is the first part that you learn about using the expression. Okay, if you want to learn more about the expression, remember I have already uploaded a website. Okay, and in the website they will explain more about the expression, about the loop. And this website is in Chinese, and also there are so many different other options to explain the expression. So you go to our Moodle here and then go down here. So you can see in lesson 7, there's a link. Okay, and then in this website, it explains about what is the loop, okay, in Chinese, okay, and more other options. Okay, maybe you can add more attribute here, and then you can see the results. Okay, so this is the first part. At the second part today, we're going to learn about the follow through. Okay, because when we're working on the bouncing ball, you know that I have added a tail in the bouncing ball, and then I can make my tail look very soft. Okay, because this is one of the animation principles. Okay, so let's try to working on the animation with the follow through. Okay, so we create another new composition. I'm going to create a pot with a plant on it. Okay, so I will create a composition, and this time I will create a composition maybe about 3000 by 3000, very big one. And I'm going to create a very short animation, so let's say 5 seconds. So this is my composition. Okay, so I draw a pot here. I'm using the pen tool, okay, to draw my pot. Maybe my pot is in brown color. Okay, so this is my pot. And of course you may adjust the shape anytime you want. Okay, you can adjust the shape, okay, or whatever. Okay, for example, I would like to make my pot like this, or you don't want to have this shape. Doesn't matter, okay. And then I would like to draw 3 lips. Okay, so before I draw the second one, make sure that I will name my layer. Okay, so I call it pot. Okay, remember before you draw something new, you need to click on the empty space. Okay, and then I'm using the pen tool again to draw the lips. So this is my first lips. And then I also need to rename it leaf. For example, this one is at the middle, so I add a letter M here to indicate this is the one at the middle. And also I would like to make sure that the center point here of the lips should be at the bottom. So I put it here. Okay, so I need to draw 2 more. Okay, so I using the remember to click on the empty space, and then I using the pen tool and draw another 2 lips. Okay, the second one. Maybe I change the color. So this one is on the right hand side, so I name it as left right. I'll mean right. Okay, and also make sure that the center point is here. Finally, I draw the last one. After I finish it, remember, change the name, the right hand side, left hand side. Okay, sorry. Left hand side, and also remember the center point. Put it here. Okay, and then maybe I put it here. And also the pot, I need to reorder the layer. Okay, something like this. Okay, so this is what I have been draw. And also about the pot, I also need to make sure that the center point should be at the bottom. Okay, like this. Okay, because I'm going to animate the pot, I need to rotate the whole pot. So you know that when we pressing R button, you can using the rotation, but you can see that everything will break apart. Every layers, they will rotate separately. So I cannot rotate the pot. So what can we do? Okay, actually, we can create a null object. A null object. A null object is an empty layer. Okay, nothing is here, just a transparent layer. But in this transparent layer, you can have the center point. Okay, you can imagine that the null object is just like grouping. Okay, for example, you can see that I have a pot, I have three lips here. I would like to group them all together. But in After Effects, you cannot have a group. So you can using the null object to have a similar performance with the group. Okay, so I will using layer new null objects. Okay, and this is your null object. You can see that null object is transparent. You can only see the center point. Okay, if you zoom in here, you can see this is the center point of this null object. Okay, so I need to put this null object at the bottom. Okay, like this. And then how can I group them together? Okay, I'm using the parent. I select the pot, the leaves. Okay, and then using the parent button. This is the parent button and drag to the null object. Now if I select the null object and then I using the rotation, you can see now I can rotate the whole pot without breaking apart. Okay. So before I move on, I would like to make sure that my layer is long enough for the whole animation. So I make sure that they are here for 5 seconds. So what I'm going to do next is I'm using the null object to create a motion. So maybe in 1 second here, my pot is upside down. And then I key the first keyframe and you need to switch on the stopwatch maybe at 2 seconds. Over here. So let's see the motion. Okay, see, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, the pot. Okay, but you can see that I can rotate my pot, but I don't think the motion is good enough because you know that the pot is a widget object. Okay, so it don't deform. Okay, but for the lips is very soft. So if you just animate something like this, it doesn't look good. Okay, so we will apply the follow through so that it can give you a sense of softness of the leaves. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I need to animate the leaves. Okay, so first of all, I will starting from here. Adding the keyframe. Okay, just leave the number like this. Okay, it's fine. And then to 2 seconds here. Okay, I will animate the leaves one by one. It will go to the right hand side. You can see. Try to rotate to the right hand side. Okay, for each of the leaves, I will rotate one by one. Okay, try to input them with different number. Okay, so now you see that my leaves with something like this, but it's still not good. Okay, because for the follow through, okay, you can see the pot is now up, is inverted, okay, like this, but I don't think the motion is good, so I need to add few more to make it very soft. Okay, so I add maybe 4 or 5 frames. Okay, let's see the result first. Okay, maybe 4 frames. This time the leaves will move to the right hand side. This is the overlapping part. So you can preview my animation. Okay, it will upside down and will continue. Okay, this is the overlapping. Okay, even the pot is stopped, but actually the leaf still moving and for a few more seconds or a few more frames. Okay, so it will make your object look very soft. Okay, let's preview the animation for the 3 seconds. Okay, it looked much better than before, right? So I also need to add few more keyframe. Okay, so this time, okay, you can see that now the leaves is pointing to the left. Now I need to adjust the leaves one by one. It now pointing to the right hand side. So you can see the result. It's better, right? So you need to add few more keyframe. Okay, now the leaf is pointing to the right hand side and then go back to the left hand side. Okay, and then after a few more frame, again, right hand side. Also right, left, okay. So after I've add few more, now you can see that my leaves look very soft. Okay, if you still remember at the very beginning, when the pot is rotated, okay, the leaves look very rigid. But now I animate few more. This is the follow through. Okay, it will make you look like that the leaf is very soft. Okay. Okay, so what we want to touch up our motion here. Okay, I would like to add a table. Okay, so because I need to draw something, remember you need to deselect everything. You need to click on the empty space so that you can draw. Okay, sorry. And maybe this is my table. I need to think about the color. Okay, so maybe I put here. Yeah, something like this. Okay. And then I would like to add the background color as well. So this is my final animation. If you would like to create a more exaggerated motion, okay, you may also adjust your motion a bit. Okay, so let's say I hide the table first so that you can see easily. Okay, I'm again go to the ellipse for the rotation. Here, in between the keyframe, the first keyframe and the second keyframe, at the middle, I add one more keyframe. The ellipse is pointing downward to make it more obvious. Okay, so it will create the motion with which is more exaggerated. Okay, so if you need to submit your assignment, okay? Or maybe I would like to adjust a few more to make it more interesting. Okay, maybe I create a new composition. For example, this is my assignment that I need to submit. I need to rename my file, your student ID, say to. Okay, remember the size of for your assignment is full high definition for 20 seconds. Okay, so this is the composition. Okay, you can see the size is like this. Okay, and then you drag the port. The composition here is very big one. This is the animation that you create. You have just create, okay, you can see. So if you find that it's too big, you can using scale, pressing S to show the scale. You can make it smaller. Okay, but you can see that the composition is usually rectangle. Okay, let's say we apply the mask here. Okay, you have already learned about the mask. Okay, so for example, I'm using the ellipse tool to draw a mask, a circle one. Remember, if you draw the mask, you have to be a solid. Okay, you cannot just be an outline. It doesn't work. Okay, this is my mask. So I name this layer as mask, and then I go to here, the chat mats. Okay, if you cannot see this menu, remember in your window, the second button. Okay, you need to go to the pods. In the chat mats, you need to choose mask. Now you can see that what is outside this circle, you will not see anymore. Maybe I would like to add a background color, dark gray. Yeah, so you can see this is what is follow through look like. So you can apply a lot of follow through in your animation in your Say tool. Okay, so let's say how do you save for your assignment. If I need to submit the assignment, okay, firstly, I will go to my computer and create a new folder. Okay, for example, your class, your name, your student ID, C2. This is the folder, okay. And then I need to save this After Effects project because you need to submit to me. Okay, so I save. Okay, this is the folder that I've just created. Okay, so I save in this folder. Okay, save to. So now in this folder, your After Effects project have been saved. And remember in your this assignment, you also need to submit the music to me. Okay, the music you can download from the internet, but make sure that the copyright is free for you to use. Okay, so let's say this is my music file. Okay, I download from the internet. You also need to save the music file in the same folder. Okay, so you can see this is my music file, and then you need to import that music file in your composition. So this is the music that I have just added in this folder, and then you need to click open. Now your music is in the project window, and then you also need to drag this audio file to the timeline. So once you pay back, and then you can hear the sound. You can hear the music. You can see here. Okay, you can see the volume. That because there's a music here, so that you can see something happen here. You can see the color. Okay, so before you submit your assignment, remember the work area. Okay, this is called work area. The work area should be from 0 second to 20 second. Okay, and then before you really render, you need to play back your animation and make sure that the audio, the visuals, they are here. They are correct. Okay, and then remember after you adding the music, you have to save again. And then I need to render. I go to composition, but before I go to the composition, make sure that you have been select your correct composition. And then go to composition, add to render queue. And then you need to wait. You need to wait because they will have launching the apps, Adobe Media Encoder, for rendering. It should be about take about minute few minutes to launching the software for render. Yeah, you can see this is the Adobe Media Encoder. And then you have to wait until you see the queue, the render queue. So you can see the software have been launched, but we still have to wait because one is done. You should see your composition is here on the right hand side in the queue. So you have to wait. So I said it should take few minutes. Yes. Now you can see that my composition is now here. Okay, you have when you need to submit your assignment, you need to make sure that this is H.264 and this is the correct one. If it's not, make sure that H.264 has been selected. And then this is the saving location. Okay, remember the folder I've just created. Okay, again, you need to save in the folder you have just created. This is the folder that I've just created, and then I save. And then I play. And then you can see that the blue indicator here. Okay, once have been finished, okay, it will be the status will become done. So it will take about few minutes for rendering. It really depends on your computer. How fast is your computer? Okay, it's now starting to render. If you see it is starting to render, you can see there's a preview here. Okay, you can see it's black because I don't have any other animation. After that 5 seconds,